Look up at the night sky. The stars you see may look calm and peaceful, but the universe is actually a place of constant creation and destruction. Planets are born, stars explode, galaxies collide, and somewhere within this cosmic chaos, our planet began its journey about 4.6 billion years ago, long before Earth existed. Our solar system was a massive cloud of gas and dust. Astronomers call this cloud the Solar Nebula. It contained the raw ingredients needed to create an entire solar system: hydrogen gas, tiny grains of rock, frozen particles of ice, and heavier elements created by ancient stars. For millions of years, this cloud remained mostly unchanged. Then, something powerful happened. A nearby star reached the end of its life and exploded in a massive supernova. The explosion sent powerful shock waves through space. When they hit the Solar Nebula, they triggered a chain reaction. Gravity began pulling the cloud inward. As the nebula collapsed, it started spinning faster and faster. Slowly, the cloud flattened into a rotating disk. At the center, temperatures rose to millions of degrees. Pressure increased dramatically. Eventually, nuclear fusion began. A star was born, the Sun. The Sun quickly became the dominant force, containing more than 99% of the solar system's mass. Around it, billions of tiny particles began colliding and sticking together. Dust became pebbles, pebbles became rocks. Rocks formed large bodies known as planetesimals. These objects sometimes measured hundreds of kilometers across. As gravity pulled them together, they began forming the earliest versions of planets. Among them was Earth. But this newborn Earth was far from peaceful. Its early years were violent beyond imagination. When Earth first formed, it was an extremely hostile place. There were no oceans, no atmosphere like the one we breathe today, and certainly no life. Instead, the planet was a glowing ball of molten rock. Its surface was constantly reshaped by powerful volcanic eruptions and asteroid impacts. This time period is known as the Hadean Eon. The name comes from the word Hades, meaning hell. An accurate description of what Earth looked like at the time. The young solar system was filled with leftover debris from planet formation. Asteroids and comets traveled through space at incredible speeds. Many of them collided with young Earth. Each impact released enormous amounts of energy. Some collisions were powerful enough to melt large sections of the planet's surface, but one collision stands above all the others. Scientists believe that a planet roughly the size of Mars collided with Earth. This planet is known as Theia. When Theia struck Earth, the impact released energy equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs. Huge pieces of Earth's crust were blasted into space. For a time, Earth was surrounded by a ring of glowing debris. Over thousands of years, gravity slowly pulled that debris together, eventually forming Earth's natural satellite, Moon. The Moon would later help stabilize Earth's rotation and influence ocean tides. Without it, Earth's climate might have been far more unstable. But even after this massive collision, Earth still had a long journey ahead before becoming a habitable world. The next stage of its evolution would involve a dramatic transformation deep inside the planet. After millions of years of intense heat and constant bombardment, Earth slowly began to cool. The outer layer of molten rock started to solidify. This formed the planet's first crust, but beneath the surface, the interior of the planet remained incredibly hot. During this time, heavy elements such as iron and nickel sank toward the center of the planet. This process created Earth's core. The movement of molten metals inside this core eventually generated Earth's magnetic field. This invisible shield protects the planet from harmful radiation from the sun. Meanwhile, volcanoes erupted across the entire surface. These eruptions released enormous amounts of gases trapped inside the planet. These gases formed Earth's earliest atmosphere. But this early atmosphere was very different from today's. It contained large amounts of carbon dioxide, methane, ammonia, and water vapor. There was almost no oxygen. The sky would likely have appeared dark and hazy, filled with volcanic gases and ash. Lightning storms would have been constant. The planet was still extremely dangerous. Yet slowly, conditions were beginning to change. As the planet cooled further, something remarkable began to happen. The water vapor in the atmosphere started to condense. Clouds formed, storms gathered, and rain began to fall. Once rain began falling on Earth, it continued for an incredibly long time. Some scientists believe it may have rained for millions of years. The rainwater flowed across the rocky crust, filling deep basins in low areas of the planet. Slowly, these basins became the first oceans. Over time, these early waters expanded into the massive oceans we know today, including the Pacific Ocean, the largest ocean on Earth, and the Atlantic Ocean, which separates the continents of the Americas from Europe and Africa. These oceans would eventually cover about 70% of the planet's surface. It helped regulate temperature. It transported minerals and chemicals. And most importantly, it created an environment where life could begin. Deep beneath the ocean surface, volcanic vents released hot mineral-rich water. These extreme environments may have provided the perfect conditions for early life to form, but life would still take hundreds of millions of years to appear. When it finally did, it would change Earth forever. Around 3.8 billion years ago, something extraordinary happened in Earth's oceans. The first living organisms appeared. These early life forms were extremely simple. They were microscopic organisms that lived in the water. Among the most important were cyanobacteria. These tiny organisms performed a process known as photosynthesis. Using sunlight, they converted carbon dioxide and water into energy. And as a byproduct of this process, they released oxygen. At first, the oxygen reacted with minerals in the oceans, but eventually, oxygen began building up in the atmosphere. This transformation is known as the Great Oxygenation Event. It changed Earth forever. Over millions of years, oxygen levels continued to rise. The atmosphere slowly became suitable for more complex forms of life. Eventually, multicellular organisms evolved. Then plants, then animals, then dinosaurs, and much later, humans. Every living thing on Earth today can trace its origins back to those early oceans billions of years ago. From a cloud of cosmic dust to a living world filled with forests, oceans, and cities. Earth's journey is one of the most remarkable stories in the universe. And even today, our planet continues to evolve. If you enjoyed this documentary about the formation of Earth, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more stories about space, science, history, and the incredible universe we live in. The story of Earth is one of the most remarkable journeys in the cosmos. From a cloud of drifting cosmic dust, to a fiery, molten world, to a planet covered with oceans, continents, forests, and life. Every mountain, every ocean, every living creature exists because of billions of years of change, survival, and transformation. Our planet has faced asteroid impacts, violent volcanic eruptions, ice ages, and mass extinctions, yet life continued to evolve and adapt. And today, Earth remains the only known planet in the universe capable of supporting such a rich diversity of life. But the story of Earth is not finished. The continents are still moving. The climate continues to change, and the universe around us is still expanding, which means the story of our planet is still being written right now, and we are part of that story. So, if you're fascinated by the mysteries of our world and the universe beyond it, make sure you subscribe and join us as we explore the incredible history of Earth and the cosmos. Because sometimes, the greatest story ever told is the story of our own planet.